In trading, accuracy is supposed to be everything, right? But what if I told you that near-perfect, 99% accuracy could be the very thing that completely drains your account? Well, today, we're diving into a really fascinating, kind of counterintuitive paradox that's right at the heart of AI trading.
So picture this. A university research team builds this incredibly sophisticated AI model. They feed it a ton of historical Forex data, and it comes back with a mind-blowing predictive accuracy of 99.4%. I mean, on paper, this thing looks like the Holy Grail, a flawless money-making machine.
But when they actually ran this supposedly perfect AI on a simulated $10,000 account, the result wasn't millions in profit. No. It was a catastrophic loss of over $20,000. The model didn't just fail a little bit, it completely blew up the account and then some.
So that leads us to the big question, right? How on earth can an algorithm that's correct 99% of the time lead to such an absolute disaster? The answer, it turns out, reveals a fundamental trap that snares so many aspiring algorithmic traders.
See, the problem wasn't that the AI was bad at its job. In a weird way, it was actually too good. It wasn't really predicting the future at all. It was just a master at perfectly describing a past that was never, ever going to repeat itself in exactly the same way. And this whole phenomenon has a name in machine learning.
It's called overfitting. The best way to think about it is like giving a student an old test, along with the answer key. The student doesn't actually learn the material, they just memorize the specific answers to those specific questions. So the moment you give them a new test, the live market, they have absolutely no idea what to do. They fail. And in a live trading environment, an overfitted model isn't just ineffective, it's a ticking time bomb. It's been trained to expect this perfect sequence of events from the past, a sequence that will probably never happen again. So when reality, inevitably does something different, the model makes catastrophic decisions.
This is also known as curve fitting. Here's a great analogy. Imagine a robot built to solve a maze. Instead of learning general rules for how to navigate, like always turn right at a dead end, it just memorizes the exact sequence of turns for one specific maze. Left, right, right, left. The second you put it in a new maze, it's completely and utterly lost.
And you can actually visualize the difference between a bad model and a good one. An overfitted model, when you test it, looks like a single, razor-thin spike of profit surrounded by these massive cliffs of catastrophic loss. Any tiny change and it just falls apart. But a truly robust model, that looks like a smooth, broad hill. It's profitable across a whole range of conditions, which proves its core logic is actually sound.
Okay, so if a simple backtest can be a trap, how do the pros actually avoid this? Well, they don't just test their models against the past in one big chunk. Instead, they simulate how their algorithm would actually have to learn and adapt over time, just like it would in the real world.
The method they use is called walk-forward analysis. It's pretty smart. First, you train the AI on an initial chunk of data, let's say the first 2 years of market data. Then, you test how well it does on the next year, data it has never seen before. Finally, and this is the key, you roll that whole window forward. Now you train on years 2 and 3 and test on year 4. And you just keep repeating that process. This forces the model to prove over and over that it can adapt to new market conditions.
All right. Now here's where things get really interesting, a little bit of a twist. After everything I just said about the dangers of overfitting, what if I told you there's a way to use it profitably? In fact, some of the most advanced quant funds do exactly that. So here's the secret to what we could call good overfitting. You have to completely abandon the idea of building one forever algorithm. Instead, these systems are designed to purposefully overfit to very recent market data, maybe just the last few weeks or months. By constantly retraining, the AI isn't trying to find some universal law of the market. It's just trying to adapt to the current market regime. Is it trending hard? Is it super volatile? Or is it just grinding sideways?
And all of this brings us to a really powerful conclusion. The whole idea behind that 99% accurate AI, it was flawed from the very start, because it was trying to answer the completely wrong question.
It really boils down to this. The wrong goal is price prediction. Asking where will the price be in 5 minutes? That's a fool's errand. The right goal is risk and regime management. The much better question to ask is, what kind of market are we in right now, and how should I be behaving based on that? Because the real power of modern AI and trading isn't to be some kind of crystal ball. It's to be a highly sophisticated recognition engine.
It's all about using machine learning to instantly identify the market's current personality and then deploy a strategy that's best suited for that specific environment.
When you think about it, in the world of algorithmic trading, an adaptable risk manager will always beat a rigid fortune teller, 100% of the time. Success doesn't come from a perfect predictor. It comes from a superior system that knows how to adapt, how to manage risk, and how to survive when it's inevitably wrong.
Which leaves us with one final thought to chew on. We're also obsessed with predicting the future of the markets. But after seeing how a 99% accurate model can fail so spectacularly, maybe we should stop and ask ourselves, is prediction even